What's up, everyone? I hope that you all are having a great and a blessed day today. Before I get into my message, I want to inform you all that I have officially launched my first ebook. This ebook is about my life, which is told through poetry. And the title of it is From Sin to Salvation, which is basically my experiences of my life from childhood until now, all given to you through poetry. And in it also, you will find encouraging poems for your own self to help you in your own journey. A beautiful prayer that is written at the end also to encourage you, to really help you to break free from your own sin and to really begin to live a life that is surrendered and submitted to God. And so that's really what the wholeness of this ebook is about. And I am excited about it. It took me a while to really push it out, but because it's filled with so much, vulnerability and transparency of my life and my experiences. And so, I know that this is just me being obedient to God, because I just know that even if it's one person, that my story will help save somebody. So if you feel led to support, if you just want to overall read my own story and my testimony, the link will be in the description box below for those of you who want to buy my ebook. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my message for today. And it comes from me reading Mark chapter 5 today when I was in my study time today. And I also went and read the same passage but in a different book, which is in Luke. Because I just wanted to kind of get the varieties, because sometimes, if when you read the word, different passages can give a different, I guess, a more detailed account. And so I want to, help me, Holy Spirit, speak to people who are battling, facing something that you have been enduring for a long period of time. Because two of those stories, there was in the passage, there is three different passages. There is a passage about Jesus healing a demon-possessed boy that was filled with many demons. There is the woman with the issue of blood, and there was also Jesus healing Jairus' daughter. Well, not healing her, but resurrecting her. And two of those, the woman with the issue of blood and the demon possessed boy, they had been dealing with something for a period of time. Now Jairus, even though his daughter had just been sick, right? He was waiting on Jesus to come to his house to heal his daughter. And if you know that was a journey, that was a walk that they had to, go on in order for, Jesus to come to his house to do what needed to be done. But the main thing that everybody had in common was who they came to. This is so important because we often go to other things whenever we are battling hard things, whenever we are in situations that we have been in for a long time. We get antsy, we get impatient, and so therefore we begin to seek after other things, believing that these are the things that are going to free us. These are the things that are going to heal us, because Jesus is taking too long. We do really feel like God's timing is not perfect, but it really and truly is. And so we have to first really get into our heads and have the understanding that we have to come to the one who can do all things. Not only does Jesus have the ability to heal, but he has the ability to make whole. And so getting into the first passage, which is the demon possessed boy, listen, it wasn't even the man that came to Jesus, because the demon had full control over the man at this point. It was the demon. Whenever Jesus showed up, it says the demon seeing Jesus from afar off and ran to him and fell to him, not in like worship, true worship, but out of fear. Why? Because the devil knew that his time was up. He recognized the power and the authority that Jesus had over him. And so he began to plead with Jesus to not cast him into the bottomless pit, but instead for Jesus to cast him into the pig. So first and foremost, what I want to say is that the devil knows that his time is up. God will allow your life to really reflect that the devil is having some type of control over you, not understanding that Jesus really truly has the full power, control, and authority over your life. And so the devil, the demons even recognize the power and authority have. So if the demons really recognize the power and the authority that Jesus has, then we also have to really have that awareness and walk in that awareness of the truth that Jesus has complete, ultimate authority over our situation. Even though it does not look like what we want it to look like, even when we are enduring or have endured something for a long period of time, Jesus is still in control. And so in that story, the man went from a certain state. So his state first was naked, and also crying out to God day and night. He was cutting himself. He could not even be bound because this is just how much control the demon had over him. But it said, whenever Jesus casted out those demons, whenever the people went and told people what had been done, when they came to see for themselves, they seen the complete transformed state of the man, so much so that they were afraid, that they could not even believe or begin to fathom or understand what it is that had taken place. So they wanted Jesus to leave their city because it, again, I'm sure to them, it just could not even possibly be understood. This tells us the dramatic transformation that begins to take place whenever we allow God to come in his perfect timing and do what it is that seems to be impossible in our lives. He would transform our lives. He will transform us in a way that just seems so unrecognizable to the sight of people that they won't even be able to understand it. The woman with the issue of blood, listen, she had endured this state for 12 years. But she also had an understanding of the power of Jesus. She knew that only if I touched a part of him, not even him, but if I touched something that he was wearing, that the power will be released through that unto me and that I will be healed. Listen, this woman who was deemed unclean, this woman who was not even supposed to be in the environment, was so determined, had such a strong faith. And even she pushed past not only the crowd of people that was around Jesus, but I'm sure she pushed past the pain of her infirmity, of her bleeding. She pushed past her current state and she pursued Jesus. She pushed through the crowd, touched him, and immediately she was healed. That Jesus also knew what had taken place immediately. And so this woman went from a place, her current state of being financially in distress, because it says that, she spent all her money on these physicians that could not even heal her. Not only could they not heal her, but it says that her condition was worsening. So she went from that state to Jesus whenever she came before him and fell down and began to confess what she had done. He called her daughter, told her to go in peace, and assured her that she was made whole by her faith and from the plague, that thing would no longer come back. So I'm here to tell somebody to set you free, to listen to what I'm saying. Listen to the voice, the words of the Holy Spirit, that whatever is currently plaguing your life right now, whatever you have been enduring for a long time, whatever that situation has caused to take place in your life, listen, if you believe on God, that whenever he shows up, whenever God performs that miracle, whether that be a physical healing, whether that be an answered prayer, whether that be a deliverance from a circumstance, whatever it is, that thing will no longer be able to return back to you, that you will be transformed from a state of plague, from a state of distress, from a place of financial lack to a place of being fully restored. God is here to completely restore you from every single thing that you have been enduring. But you have to have the faith to wait on him. You have to have the belief in who Jesus is and what he is able to do in your life. And you have to, in that, pursue him. You have to begin to show up regardless of what it is that you are going through. You got to begin to show up no matter the pain that you are going through, because why? You are coming to a God. You are believing on a God who can do the impossible, who can do what man can't do. Jesus is the only one who can show up when nobody else can. It says that at the beginning with the demon-possessed boy that nobody could bind him up. Nobody could contain him. Nobody could deliver him. The woman with the issue of blood, no doctor could heal her. Jairus' daughter situation, we know that couldn't no man in that time raise nobody from the dead. Everything was only what Jesus could do. So as if you are in a seemingly impossible situation, if you are going to other things, believing that these other things are going to be the things that are going to help you, that are going to heal you, that are going to deliver you, that are going to ultimately save you and set you free, I'm here to tell you that Jesus is the only way. Jesus is the only way to salvation. Jesus is the only way to eternity. There is no other way. There is no other alternative but God. That's who we got to believe in. That's who we have to wait on. That's the type of faith that we have to have, because it is in all of those things that God will show up and do what only it is that he can do. So I want to encourage you on today to, no matter how long it's been, like no matter how long it has been, no matter how hard that it is, no matter how much pain you have gone through up until this point, God knows you. He sees everything, and in his perfect timing, he is gonna come through for you in the way that only he knows how to. And I know that may not be enough to, I don't want to say maybe that won't be enough. Maybe for some of you, you may feel like, but I need something right now. Go to God for that, because it is God that can sustain you for where you are right now. Those other things that you may be going to, they are temporary. But God can give you something right now that can keep you for when he shows up. So go to God in the midst of you waiting on him to show up and do his perfect will and save you from whatever that is. Again, that can be a physical healing, spiritual healing, an answer prayer that you're waiting for God to come and deliver you, to change your circumstance, whatever it is, your finances. God wants to do everything. He does not only want to come into your life, come into your situation, heal your body only for one specific thing. He comes to transform your whole entire life, your whole entire being. That's what he's after. The whole you, not a part of you. So that's why it takes time. Because God is looking at the bigger picture. And so we have to begin to not just looking at one area, but begin to look at all of you and all the things that God is trying to do in you, for you, and through you. And in that, have patience. Do not fear. Do not fret. but believe in the God who can do all things, and believe in God that can do the impossible. Because what is impossible for us, it is possible for God, because there is nothing too hard for God.